The weight loss right after surgery was not what I expected. I expected to have a really big drop in a short period of time. I can't remember, maybe I lost 13 pounds in the first month, and I was freaked out. But I remember being at the support group and crying and saying, it's not working for me, because I was so used to failing in diets and in weight loss that to me this was like, oh my God, it's happening again. And I went through all this, and I am not going to lose the weight. And I was hysterical. That's what the support groups are so great. The people in the support group who had been through the process, they'd all been there. They each had their story, and they shared it with me, and they were so kind. And they gave me hope that it really, that it was going to be successful, that virtually there was no way that it couldn't if I followed the plan. So it did start coming off. But for me, it was gradual. It was 1.5, 2 pounds a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over the course of a year, that's 100 pounds. So, and that's kind of how it went. It never gets old having people say, you look so fantastic. And I say, I lost 130 pounds. People then say, how did you do it? And I say, well, it was a village and it was a team. So I had a bariatric procedure. I went to a therapist who specialized in addiction. I went to Weight Watchers. I went to a nutritionist. I exercise regularly and religiously now. It is a comprehensive approach. Otherwise, there is no way at my age that I would have been able to change 55 years of behavior and chronic disease and obesity. I know people who have had one of the bariatric procedures who weren't as fortunate as me to be at a practice that insisted on all these disciplines being called into play. You couldn't get the procedure if you didn't work with all these different people. People who I know that just went to a surgeon, I've observed that sometimes they are not as successful, and they're not as successful both in losing the entire amount of weight they wanted to lose and in keeping it off. And I'm a big believer in putting all the pieces into place and taking the support from all those different disciplines that really will ensure success. The most important thing for me to communicate to people who struggle with their weight or struggle with their health issues because of obesity is that it is never too late. And I was someone who given up hope, that I was so sad. I was in despair that I was never going to live as a normal weighted person. I was never going to have that experience. And I am, and I will continue living that way. It is a choice, and there are resources out there, and look for them and find them, and have hope, because there really is hope to be the healthy, happy person that you want to be.